And we are live once again. I tried to start up the stream earlier. I couldn't connect with LuFisto. I could actually, but the first time she couldn't see herself. We want our guests to be comfortable over here and be able to see themselves. So that's why I reconnected. And hey, I'm 40 years old right now. I said it before in the other stream, but I'm 40. I hit that big 4-0. So we're going to smoke to that. Okay, LuFisto. We're going to try and add her right away. I think things will be running smooth now. Usually things have run way smoother the second time around. And there she is. Can you see yourself now?
No, but I don't care. If you see me, it's fine.
Okay, I can see you perfectly. I can see
Awesome.
you can see my bald head, right?
I can see you.
Okay, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. So
Yeah,
how have
as
you
long
been,
as you
Jen?
see me, as long as you see me and the other people can see me, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if I don't, because we're gonna have, like, I don't know what's wrong with this phone. Like,
It's okay. It's okay. Can you see the questions and stuff in the stream?
I can see people writing and coming in.
Okay, good.
Hopefully hopefully that I can, like, see, or yeah, if you can read the questions too, but we'll see when,
I'll
I
read
don't
the
know.
questions, no problem. If you guys have any questions for LuFisto, you can start asking them. Sometimes it takes a while for me to ask them to her because we're talking. But hey, here we go. So how is everything going? Because I read your comment this week that you're kind of sad that you're missing the ring and everything, and you felt kind of down and out about it, right?
Yeah, yeah, like it's been 7 months since I had my last match. And it was like, at first I was like fine with this. I understand what's going on in the world, so I'm gonna try to, use this time to heal, refocus, and put my priorities where they should be. I started dieting real hard and training real hard. And I was doing it from home until the gyms opened again. And then at the gym, I was pushing even harder. So I've been really, like, into it. And now, like, I feel so ready to be out there and on a big
Yeah.
stage. Like, for the first time, like, I think I've always been kind of ready, but now I'm like hungry. Like, I want it real bad. And then here, there's a second wave hitting the country
Everywhere. Everywhere.
everywhere. So
Yeah.
they're closing stuff again. So I was like,
Yeah.
no, like, I really,
It's
like, they
crazy.
just said that combat sport could start to train in a bubble of 4 people, but we could start, like, training, but now they're like, nope, already, like, over. So, like, I didn't even get in the ring, like, nothing. So it's been 7 months.
Uh,
This week I was like, ah, it's like, for the first time, like, I crave it. I feel empty without it, and I'm like, I feel I would be so, like, I'm so ready right now to go out there and have killer matches, and I can't. And I was like,
So but how ironic is this? Because before you wanted to retire. Be
I know,
careful what you
right?
wish for, right?
I know, it's like, that's how I felt this week. It's like I felt like I retired after all. It's like, no, why? Like, I had this kind of renaissance and rebirth, and
Yeah.
now it's like, but then, something else is like stopping me, and I'm like, oh, like, I can't
By the
win.
way, your boyfriend is commenting. He says last time she took my phone, but I'm at work now, so I can't save the day.
Yeah, I know, we can't save the day.
Well, we can see you fine. We can see you fine.
Good.
No problem. No
Awesome.
problem. So, and Alice says, I can feel you, Jen. Alice also tried to retire, still trying to retire, but not very successful. But the whole thing is, it is very frustrating because I've worked like one actual show, and we did a more cinematic match,
Mhm.
which I produced. So I was involved with wrestling, but it's not wrestling like normal, like with freedom, wrestling with
Yeah,
freedom,
I was
basically.
asked. I was asked once, like, if we can do it. Do you want to do a cinema, like those
Yeah,
cinema match and stuff? And I was like, eh. It's like, I like it. I like the concept. I like that it gives you an option. But for me, wrestling is in the ring with the crowd, with, the emotions that you're
yeah,
trying to play with. And I mean, it's cool to do stunt work, but my God, it's not the same. And I was
no.
like, I don't know if that's for me. Like, I would. Probably I would do it because I'd like to have, to try stunt work, but I know it's not going to be the same feeling.
No,
I
but
know
I
it's not.
think you'd be good at it though. No, because
Probably.
good workers like yourself excel also in an environment like that when it's more cinematic because it's easier to
Mhm.
work with people like that. So I think you do a good job.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
just
but I
think I would have to
understand
open my mind to it. I
it's an
really.
acquired taste, right? It's an acquired taste. Okay, we've got a question. When will you be back to wrestle again in Indiana?
I don't know. Like honestly, with the COVID right now, if you are a Canadian, you can't cross the border unless you have a contract and work visa. So unless someone would sign me and I would have a visa, I can't cross the border because anything that's tourism or amateur or anything, you can't cross the border because of COVID. However, if you do have a business relationship, a contract, like a work visa to work for any company, then you are allowed to cross the border. Anybody else that tries this and gets caught, you're so dead.
So
But
we
yeah,
can't we can't we can't go into Canada like Europeans can't go either right now.
I think Europeans can. It's just the border between the United States and Canada is still closed
Ah,
because there's like I think they're up to 220,000 people dead in the
yeah,
States. And
yeah,
here it's like 15,000 total. And we've
yeah.
been pretty good at containing, like the, the disease, and like our government, I think, is doing a great job. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you
it's,
guys are lessly densely populated, right? Than the U.S., especially the metropolitan areas in the U.S. are just crazy.
well, Montreal is bad and Quebec City, just talking for my province. Like
Yeah.
these are like now we go with color codes and now they're on red. Like my city
Oh,
is
this bad.
yellow borderline. I think we're gonna turn orange today officially.
Yeah.
But with Montreal, it's red, so they close the bars. They close. You can order in, but you can't sit at a restaurant anymore. In my city, I still can, but now like they're closing, stuff, and they're talking about people not moving from one area to another not to spread
Wow.
the disease.
Yeah.
And there's another press conference from a prime minister today at 5 because he's he's like trying his best. Like I give him all the credit,
Yeah.
but it's such an unknown disease, and it's like it's changing every day. So
It's
they need
crazy,
to
isn't
adapt.
it?
Uh,
It's
it's
crazy. We've been Amsterdam has been marked red by Germany. It's just flagged red. So
uh,
Amsterdam, like Germans cannot go into Amsterdam anymore. And a lot of places are marked orange. I don't like over here in the country area, like in the country on the countryside, we don't have those problems of the world. You know? We
yeah,
don't
in
have
my
those.
city, it's really not that bad either.
Yeah.
We have a population of 30,000, and I was just reading in our local newspaper, the total COVID cases is up to, it was 57, and now it's like 67. So over 7 months. So that's good.
That's really
And
good.
it's really, really good. And most of those people were what we call them snowbirds. It's the one that go to the United States during winter and they come
Ah,
back to the seats.
they
Like a
fly
lot
to
of
the south,
people.
right? Yeah.
And
They
that's what happened.
migrate.
A lot of people, they came back and they had it, didn't know, and spread a little bit, but they got caught, and like everything is contained now. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go out much. I'm not a partier. I like to stay home with my cats, as
Yeah.
everybody knows. The only thing I'm like, please do not close the gym. I need this to stay sane because I'm like, I'm on
Really? Most people
maybe
just work
going
out.
nuts right
Most
now.
people just work out at home nowadays. I love it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No?
I need to get out. Like I did it when the COVID thing happened. I did it for 3 months and I was good, but then I'm like, I don't have enough weights. Like right now, I'm putting like 8 and 10 plates on the leg press, and I'm like
Really?
here with my little squats. I'm like, this is so bad. I'm like, no, I need weights. I need
Yeah, but
yeah.
you're a powerhouse. I am just a fucking genetic freak, so all I have
Yeah,
to do is light weights.
yeah, you're all
Seriously.
lean and stuff. I just get big, and I'm like, oh, whatever. I know.
Yeah.
I started taking pictures because my traps got so you just
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
saw
that's
your
your traps. I was
traps.
like, I like
Jesus. You look like the barbarian from the Powers of Pain. Really cool. So,
I'll
okay.
take it.
So what we have to catch up on one thing, and Thorsten already mentioned it in the chat stream. He said, to follow up on last stream, did you solve your problems with CCW?
No, I mean, well, is it solved? They didn't publish anything else that was like the same type of publicity. I didn't see them promote any women matches, so they kept quiet, which is good. Like, and actually, you know what? I've been on their channel yesterday, and all the names of the shows are back to what they used to be. United, Breaking Barriers, and the original wrestling shows that we were on. It's like the real name. I don't know about the third party because I'm not subscribed to their whatever streaming thing, but I know CZW at least are using the titles that we were on, like we agreed to be on the show. So I guess there's an evolution there, but I haven't talked to any of them. They kind of when all that happened, they just answered that they had sold the footage, and that was it. They never mentioned anything else, and nothing else came out of it. And then I mean, there was the speaking out movement and everything that came with CZW a little bit, and then everything else that happened with. But no, they've been extremely quiet, and I'm really happy that at least on their CZW studios, they're using the proper, you know, titles.
Yeah. So I kind of expected the speaking out movement to have an impact on that, especially since like everybody is basically under a microscope nowadays.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Since we last talked, a lot has happened. Especially with the speaking out movement. Crazy thing was that before David Starr got accused, he was on my show the night before, and then all hell broke loose. And everybody in the UK started speaking out, and even in the European mainland, organizations that I am a part of or was a part of. Crazy. How did you
Crazy but necessary.
Very, very much necessary. How did you experience this whole thing?
There's a lot of stories I knew, but that were, you know, told me in confidence, so I never said anything. So I think it was very liberating for a lot of girls to you know, tell their story. The only thing that I really didn't like about it is that I feel some people used it as personal vendettas against people, and it didn't help the real victims.
No.
But at least it got the word out there that, hey, trainers are doing that. They used to, they still are, and that should not happen again, so be aware of it. At least it's giving information out there that if this is happening, don't be afraid to lose your job or something. Talk to someone. You're going to get some help because this is wrong, and it's out there now and people know. Yeah. So this part is very positive. And the thing, I understand why, but I was a little bit disappointed is I really felt some of the girls had enough information to go to court with this. If you're a minor and you get assaulted or, you know, any type of sexual harassment or something, there's a lawyer somewhere that's going to help you. I know in the States at least there's people who are like, hey, I'm going to help you and I'm going to collect whatever after. I don't know exactly how it works in the UK or whatever, but I really feel that some girls had enough to build a case and actually bring this to court. I think it would have meant a lot more than just online stuff.
But was that their intention, though? I mean, for the greater good, it would be, you know, awesome if they would have done that. But, like,
if we're seeing for the greater good, just to make an example, that this is so wrong that legally you can't do this. But I understand lawyers can be expensive. It's not always that you'll find that lawyer who wants to do it for free and collects after whatever. And it's scary. It takes a lot of courage to go out there and tell your story. So I love the fact that a lot of people supported these girls. And even if, you know, the guys were trying to defend themselves, there were so many people going against them that the fans and other wrestlers and promotion, they rallied behind those girls and supported them. That's a beautiful thing. it kind of quieted down, but I was really happy this week to see Millie McKenzie and other people from uh,
From Britain,
Britain
yeah.
to go out and at the BBC and still talk about it.
Yeah.
It has to, people have to know about it, and
Well,
we gotta protect our
it shouldn't be
girls.
forgotten. It shouldn't be forgotten, and it should be a sign that this shit does not fly,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And it also brings up a lot of different conversations that correlate to that, are women equal to men in the wrestling industry?
Hmm.
It's something that goes together, I think, because there's always has always been a difference of power,
Yeah.
to call it that, and that makes it easier when you're in a position of power, any position of power, but especially in a wrestling locker room, it makes it easier to get away with shit like that, you
Yeah, and
know?
I mean that's why I think it's time to get more women involved in these position of power. So you have men, but also women, and if something happens, you can work on something, make sure that if something like this happens again, that there's actually a woman that's there who the girl might be like a little scared to talk to because
Yeah,
she might be, sometimes you're not comfortable talking to the other gender, but if there's a woman there and let's say someone like me who's heard the stories, who lived some of them, I know what she's going through. I've been there,
yeah.
and that's what I really hope that promotions all over, independents or bigger, are going to have women to be there in case that happens.
Yeah. Well, that is necessary, and women should be an equal part of wrestling as men are.
Yeah, we are
Um,
trained. We are trained the same way. We
yeah.
take the same bumps. We're partners in the ring. We work together, and I think I always say there was such an evolution in front of the camera, but the evolution needs to happen in the backstage
Yeah,
as well. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's not just it's workplaces in general. I have to be honest, right?
Hmm.
And like to a certain extent, like in Canada and Holland, I don't think it is as that bad as like certain like Latin American countries. Like I travel in Latin America like a couple of times a year. I love it in South America and the Caribbean. When you see women going to the office, you know what they're dressed like?
Never
It's
been
like it's like something. No, it's like if you see a woman, or a Colombian woman going to work, her outfit is a business outfit, but it looks like a porn. It came from a porn set.
there.
And why? And you can look this up because it's socially accepted for women to be flirtatious in order to get higher up in companies.
Hey, if
So
the
it's
men can
basic.
do it, why the women can't? That's
So it's
we're
it's
talking
yeah, but
equality. So.
it's basically they think it's expected of them to behave like that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I love it. I love to see
Oh, I'm
it.
sure. I'm sure you do.
However, it
They're
shouldn't be
beautiful
expected.
too.
Yeah. No, but do you understand what I mean? It shouldn't be expected of them to look like
No,
that.
no. No, no. You should dress the way that makes you feel comfortable. If you feel great being sexy, then go for it. If you feel better with a turtleneck, go for it. Be you.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it shouldn't
Yeah.
be like expected, like you say, or it shouldn't be something forced. I wear metal shirts all day and are, tank tops or whatever. I like to be comfortable. Yoga pants,
Yeah.
jeans. That's it. It's not nothing fancy. If you ask me to put on a dress once in a while, I will,
Yeah.
but it's not like my main thing. And if I have to really do it, it's like it's not me.
Yeah.
So
Well, people should be based on their performance. That's what I mean. Um, I see somebody brought up something interesting in the chat stream,
right.
about Joey Ryan, who has sued his accusers for I think over
Mhm.
10 million,
I
10
think
million
it's
dollars.
15 million. I've read quickly. I've read the articles yesterday. I think from Wrestle Talk.
Yeah,
And yeah, because of all the money he lost, the venues, the bookings, the everything. Um, I mean, it's his right. He has a right to defend himself.
hmm
But with Joey, it's like there's 16 people, I think 16 or 17, I could be wrong, people that came forward with stories He's suing 3 of them. And of course, we don't have the names. I don't know which one they are. And I didn't want to read everything because there's so much negativity in the world right now with the U.S. debates and the COVID and everything.
Wow, let's touch on that for in a second. The U.S. debate, because I actually saw along with the rest of the world watch. But the Joey Ryan thing, it sends a certain message which I do not like, because in his case, there's, you know, the saying, when there's smoke, there's fire. Well, there's a lot of smoke. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke.
If you come with these unreasonable amounts of money, because this is not what that piece of shit, this is not what that dude is worth. This amount is not what this dude is worth. Like, I guess he regards himself as a superstar, but I think it sends a certain message to people who want to step forward. And I understand that it's his right. And if he's wrongfully accused, he's wrongfully accused.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at the amounts in question and how many people have accused him, doesn't look good.
And you know, I was talking previously that I'm afraid that some girls won't fight back because they can't afford the same lawyers, and hopefully there will be somebody, a lawyer in the United States, who will step up and say, I'll defend these girls and do something. So hopefully they'll have the legal help that they need, because they're going to need some, because they're being sued right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they have stories, plenty of them showed actual conversations, and there's people backing up their stories, and some people were even said, like, I was there. Again, I don't know which 3 people are talking about, but in general, usually people were backing up the stories, and they heard it, or they've seen, or stuff, or conversation on the phone, and is it consensual or not? But there's enough stuff for them to actually go defend themselves and maybe, you know, win. But they'll need some help. So what I wish for them is that actually a good lawyer steps up, like, I'm going to take this case and we're going to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, because they're entitled to be able to. And that's the thing in the U.S., right? You have to be able to afford a good defense.
Yeah. It's easy to sue and on anything.
Yeah, especially when you've got money, because there's more to be achieved, and that's crazy if you think about it, right? So
yeah, it's a little sad too.
On the subject of the USA and on the subject of sad, right? Did you watch that debate?
Some clips.
Okay, what was your general impression?
Screaming, lying, arguing, no definite answer, because one wouldn't let the other one finish.
Yeah.
And it's like, it felt like 2 children in the schoolyard arguing because somebody stole their balloon. And it's like, and of course everybody saw the clip of the white supremacist thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm so done. I was like, and what did he say? Stay ready and stay strong, fine man, or something like that. I was like,
yeah.
How can you say this? I'm like, oh my God. I was like,
yeah. Well,
I feel very sorry for, man, there's great people in the United States. I've lived there. There's good people, and it's a beautiful place to visit, and there's tons of cool stuff to do in the States. But my God, right now the country's so divided, and the police stuff and the racism, and the Breonna Taylor story is the one that really breaks my heart. For some reason, what I think the most is the poor guy on the phone calling the police because they're shooting in his home. And
it's the police.
Shooting. I know.
And it is the police doing it. How crazy is that?
And I don't know the man, but I'm like, for some reason, I've been thinking about him specifically through this ordeal. Who he was there, he lived it, he saw his girlfriend, and
imagine that, like being in your bed in your house. Right?
It's heartbreaking, and it's something like, it's like I don't know what to say. I don't know if I should say anything, but my whole life, I've been, when I was a kid, my favorite show was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I've never seen Will Smith as a different color. I just love Will Smith.
Yeah.
And my favorite movie is Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. I've never seen the skin color difference between me and him.
But
It's
you're
like, he's the
Canadian.
coolest guy on earth.
But you're Canadian, and it's not such a big issue. I mean, Canadian diversity is like, especially the last couple of years, the last 10 years, has gone like through the
Yeah.
roof. Like, all you can find literally all cultures there. And I have to say, from all the countries that I visited, people like to adapt to Canada. There's
Mhm.
not that much integration
And don't get me
problems
wrong, there's racism here too. We're actually dealing with
everywhere.
one in Quebec with
Of course.
natives. There's two nurses who've been really racist to a lady that was dying, and now it's all over the news. They're getting them fired, and it's like they're like really quick on this is not shouldn't be happening, and
Yeah.
like right now it's a major story here, and that should not happen because the lady, she was, my God, when she was dying, she recorded what they were saying to her, and I was like, no, no, you it's like now with the technology, like these like we always knew
That's
there was
great. Was that in
something.
French or English?
It's in French, but it's terrible. It's because she's native. They're like, oh, you had 7 kids, you whore, whatever. Didn't you want to, it's terrible. Yeah. And I mean, don't worry, the government's on it. The hospital already fired them. There's going to be like terrible repercussion for them, but that should not be happening.
No,
And it's
absolutely
something
not.
that doesn't happen often here, but when it does, it's so heartbreaking. And all this right now in the world, it's like, my God, like trying to be positive, but it's
Yeah, well,
heavy.
there's a
It's
lot. I think
heavy.
there's been underlying tensions for years, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere in the world, whether it's race related or you have to choose a side, either you're left or you're right nowadays, right?
Yeah.
But before, people were not designed to look at each other's head, right? You couldn't read each other's thoughts. But now through
Mhm.
social media, you can basically read everybody's
Pretty
thoughts
much.
because
Yeah.
people cannot help to vent. And especially when there's tension, like their preferences, political preferences really come to the surface, and they're not willing to listen to each other or even read each other's comments. They just have their
Oh,
own,
yeah.
because they live in that echo chamber, right? And all that shit is now really coming to the surface. But I don't understand because it's just they just want to be accepted by a certain group. It's just old-fashioned tribalism. But
Hmm.
it's so easy to get along with people. Really? Because
You just sit down and you talk with someone, and if you
yeah,
have an issue, usually just talking, it's
yeah,
usually, first of all, you usually realize that if you have heat with someone, usually it's something stupid. It's like, oh, we hated each other for this? How dumb. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, just talk.
yeah.
Just talk.
Just talk.
Yeah.
There are good people everywhere, right? On the
Yeah.
right, on the left, and I like to welcome everybody into my life. And I'm not going to, because I'm pretty progressive and I'm pretty liberal. But some people who tend to, I have friends from way back then who tend to lean more to the right, but they're good guys because I know their characters, I know their
Yeah.
personality, I know that they're
Mhm.
just good guys. But I'm not going to hang out with them or have a conversation with them because they lean more to the right than to the left. What the fuck do I care? A lot of my opinions are
Just don't
not
talk
especially left
politics
wing.
with them.
Yeah, no, but I don't care about politics that much to hate people over it.
There's already so much hate right now. It's like I need something positive. My God.
Yeah, yeah. So, but do you think Biden can stand a chance, Sleepy Joe, against Trump? Because I think Trump is going to march all over him now, man.
Well, he's already saying that if he doesn't win, he's gonna create some chaos. So I
Trump?
don't know. I am honestly just hoping the best for my Americans friends, and half my family
Yeah.
lives in the United States. So
Uh,
like I just hope things go as smooth as they can, because my God, this, like, they had enough. Like, things needs to change there. They need to get to 2020. They need to clean up their health system, and because my God, I had to deal with it, and it's terrible. And
Yeah.
they need to be more focused on their well-being instead of their protection and guns and stuff. And anyway, I don't want to get into a debate about guns stuff.
No.
It's their thing, but I just want
Second
them to be
Amendment, right?
well. I want them to be in peace. I want them to be happy.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, there's so many good people out there. So
Yeah, and it would be great if they could get along because it's like
yes, get
basically
along.
it was always the leader of the world. US growing up was the place that you wanted to be, right? No matter where
Hmm.
you came from. But I think gradually, especially throughout the 90s and especially around 9/11, people didn't look at the US the same way. Especially Bush was not particularly popular. And all of a sudden, like Americans became something else. And like you can, I don't know, I'm not saying all Americans are stupid. Um, but you know that a large portion of the world regards them as ignorant. You know what I mean? And that's unfortunate because
It's
not
funny
all of
that
them are ignorant.
it's funny that you mentioned that because most of my American friends, they were posting stuff like, "Look at us, we look so stupid. Look at us, everybody's laughing at us." It was like the
Yeah.
comment that I saw the most this morning, and I stopped reading because it was breaking my heart. I was like,
But it is
"Okay,
heartbreaking because
it
it's
is
so bad. Everybody, like my wife came down laughing because did you see what was on there? I said, yeah, I was just watching while working out. Unbelievable. It's like two old, like geriatric kids, right? It's like they're having a pissing contest. And it's like, I know there's some
actually."
knowledge.
He asked for a piss cup from the other guy because he said he's taking enhancement drugs. I was like, "What?" I
No,
think,
but
oh
they're
my God,
both
I
on
think it
drugs.
was Shane. I don't know if you saw Shane Helm's comment, and he goes,
No,
"Why do
no,
you want
I'm
his
not on
pee so
Twitter. I'm
much?"
not on Twitter. What?
No, he said, "Why do you want his pee so much?" I'm like, "Oh God."
But isn't he like, especially in real life, isn't he a fucking witty guy, Shane Helms?
Oh, yeah, he's so
He
cool.
is really
I
fucking
love him.
smart.
Oh yeah, he is. I love it. Love it.
Yeah, nice guy. Nice guy. Thorsten is watching. I've seen Thorsten bother him for like an hour, but that's another that's another story altogether. But no, but it's a sad situation, and let's hope it turns out good,
Hmm.
um, and it won't be too much. We do not want to have a civil war over there because
No, no, no.
that's going to influence the entire world, and we're not looking for that shit. So
There's enough shit.
on to some better news or news. It's not news anymore, but you made your debut on the WWE Network.
I did. I, I never thought that would happen, and then I see the news, and it was like, for people who didn't want me there, hello,
I
hi.
have the same. I have the same. And I didn't listen to it because I do not have the WWE Network, but
I don't either.
I really hope that there are no marijuana references because I usually have a couple of them.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because I was watching Botchamania, and there's a guy who does a 450, and you call it a 420. It's on Botchamania. I know. It was like, that's Rico.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you say, like, did I call this move the 420? I apologize. And I'm like, of course you did.
No, but what I said was Freud was right because it was a Freudian slip. You know what a Freudian slip is?
No.
When you say something inadvertently that's on your mind the entire time, right? So for instance, when you talk to somebody and he has like a one bad eye, right? One
Yeah.
bad eye, and you're like, okay, do not focus on it. Do not focus on it. So, and then you want to ask, hey, how's your day? Hey, how's your eye? This is Freudian slip. So that's why I
So
said, hey, Freud was right.
so at that moment, you were thinking, I need a joint right now. Oh, he's a 420. Oh, no, I mean a 450. That probably would happen.
That's what I talk about. That's what I talk about too much. By the way, Canada is doing a good job concerning for 420 right now.
Oh, you're good here. We even have places that sell it like by the government, so it's
Yeah,
like
that's
yeah, it's
crazy. That's
legal.
crazy.
It's legal, so.
I was looking to go to. I wanted to go to Vancouver
Hmm.
because I heard it's beautiful.
It is.
But it's too insecure right now. I don't know what's going to happen next year. I wanted to plan it for next year. I don't want to get locked in. Like, what would I do a couple of months in Canada? I've got a business to run over here.
No, they were pretty good though at helping people getting back home when that happened. Like,
All right.
I don't want to like make it look like my government is perfect, but they did a great job about a lot of things. People, like Canadians that were stranded out, they brought them back, and I know they help people getting back home too.
Yeah.
So it's like they did a decent job. So yeah.
Okay, good. I'll keep that in mind. You've got a couple
Yeah.
of questions. Did you ever wrestle in Detroit?
Detroit. You know what? No. No, I drove by Detroit going back to Canada, but I've
Yeah,
never
of course.
wrestled in Detroit. I landed quite often in Detroit because I would transfer them for other flights.
Yeah.
But my God, I don't think so. No.
I don't know what the scene is like. The Sheik, the original Sheik, used to run there.
Hmm.
And I think the Shans wrestled there a lot, but I don't know if there is anything going on now.
Yeah, there was a promotion. I think it was it not beer wrestling, but something. But yeah, no,
Beer
not that
bars,
I remember.
that type of shit. Okay.
Not that I remember.
So, why do you have Tommy Dreamer hanging on your wall? Why him?
Oh,
Says Thorsten.
it's actually my boyfriend's. It's signed pictures. We have a whole wall of signed pictures from. He actually wrestled Tommy Dreamer, so that's why he has a picture.
Ah,
He actually wrestled Tommy, but he has also Vampiro and some of my collection. I have Luna Vachon, Cherry Martel, Owen Hart, The Undertaker, Mima Shimoda, Minami Toyota, and he's got Justin Liger and Vader and Bob Evans, and yeah, like we
Vader.
put them on the wall.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Will you return to Germany? Asks Simon.
I hope so. I love Germany. I miss it real. Like
Yeah.
I know like Killer Kelly kept saying like I want a rematch. I'm like I want it too. I was like I really want to go back.
Yeah, she wants to wrestle you longer than 2 minutes, I guess, right?
Well, we had two matches together. Well, three because we had a tag team too. And I love wrestling Kelly. She's so talented. We have such
Yeah.
great chemistry. She's
Yeah.
she's one of those like I wouldn't mind wrestle every day. And there's a lot like the good thing is there's a lot of girls that I see myself saying that lately because there's a lot of passionate people and she's one of them. I just love working with somebody who's always improving and
Yeah.
takes so much pride in her training and everything. So
She's
yeah, I mean,
got good natural fire, too.
yeah. I love her intensity and
Yeah.
yeah, very awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of girls, you say that a lot about. I've got the question from Wendell Scott. Who is stronger, you or Jordan?
I would say Jordan might be stronger, but I'm crazier.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Tiorajo, what is your name, bro? Hope to see you wrestle here in Detroit.
Yeah.
There's Horror Slam, Sanctuary Fight, and WICW. Here's Pondo. Here Pondo's girl fight ran at a
Yeah,
party.
girl fight. I
Girl
know
fight.
Yeah.
Oh, from Pondo.
For Pondo. I've worked for Pondo once.
I like
I'm not doing the
Pondo.
hardcore things anymore though. Especially since I finished my back piece, I'm not falling in the class with this thing.
You've got a new back piece. I saw that. You've got
Yeah.
an enlarged tramp stamp.
Oh yeah, it's not a tramp stand anymore. It's like half my back.
Yeah, it's huge. But what I thought I loved it. What gave you the idea? Did you do the design because you're a graphic artist? Did you do the
Actually,
design
no.
yourself?
There's a tattoo artist. He's a major wrestling fan, and he's really into the neo-traditional style. And he's doing all kinds of stuff like wrestling related, and he has a wrestling podcast. So I knew a lot of people who went to see him, and they
Yeah.
had like beautiful pieces. So his name is Dave, Wave Tattoos, and I just like email him, and he's like, I have this horrible tramp stamp that was cool in 2002, but I can't see this
Yeah.
anymore. Like it's in my bag. I don't really see it, but I
That's
would
a
see it like on
contemporary
wrestling
piece.
pictures. And I was like, eh. And because of hardcore, it was all cut, and it didn't look pretty anymore. And I'm like, I'm the wounded owl, and I think an owl would cover it perfectly.
Yeah.
And came up with the design, and I'm like, that's perfect. And we tried it, and then he's like, bigger. I'm like, oh hell yeah! So I have it till up here, up in my my wrist, not my ribs area. Yeah,
Really
it's
cool. Do you
more
still do you, oh, I see a couple of good questions coming in.
nice. Great.
Do you still have a lot of scars, by the way?
Yes and no. With time, they kind of faded. Like you can see most of the time. What you'll see if I go tanning, like you'll see the line that stays white, really white, because it was cut. But no, I don't have a lot of scars, especially not in my face. And but if you look my lower back or here, because I was falling in lights, sometimes you'll kind of see. But you have to look closer. It's not something that's gonna
Do you
stand
regret
out.
that? Do you regret that now that you're
No,
older?
no, I think it was really necessary because nobody was taking women wrestlers seriously, and they didn't think we could be tough. And I've always felt that I needed to prove that we could do everything they could do.
Yeah, well, you did. Yeah, you were groundbreaking. I mean, some of the things you did were just unbelievable. Um, Ronda Rousey fans asks, is it true you signed with WWE? There's rumors on Twitter. There's always rumors on Twitter.
I didn't know. No, if anything, I don't think it would be with WWE. No, I did not sign any contract.
If anything, it would not be with WWE. So can I ask, have you been approached by AEW?
I've had discussions with all the promotions besides WWE, but just discussions. Nothing. There was one that I had my plane ticket, I had my meeting, I had everything. COVID happened, canceled.
Oh, shoot.
Right before, yeah, it was scheduled for the end of March, and then everything got canceled. And now I'm hoping it's gonna come back. I'm hoping it's gonna be another opportunity. But
Well, you deserve it. I mean,
thank you,
no, but I know you were about to retire, but let's be honest, you're still one of the very best wrestlers in the world, one of the very best female wrestlers in the world. And also when it comes to like even males have, a lot of males do not have that intensity that you have in the ring, right? It's just a real spectacle to watch you still. And I think you deserve to go out on top.
thank you. I really feel I'm at a better place, like in my head and everything. I feel I work smarter. I'm more patient. I build my matches better. I think like with everything that happened, like it made me a better worker, and that's why I feel like right now I'm so ready to go. And I'm eager, like I want to learn too. Like I'm very aware. I've never been on TV, but I know how to work with cameras because I did so many pay-per-views. But I'm
Yeah.
like I'm so willing to, I might not know everything, but show me because I need a new challenge. I want something new. I want to help the new generations. Like I love working with people who have life experience, and I learn at the same times that I'm teaching them, and they even teach me some stuff sometimes because a lot of
Yeah.
the new generation is so much more advanced than how I was like years ago, because a lot of stuff I would learn by myself and by making mistakes and trying to learn from them.
Yeah.
Now like they have great schools, they have dedicated trainers, they have veterans who are actually helping. That when I was starting, veterans were usually just trying to see if you're tough and you're not gonna make it, you're a
Yeah.
piece of shit, just to see if you could take it. And I mean, that's the way it was.
Yeah.
But now I feel it. People, the kids are more treated like athletes. Like if same thing if they were in hockey or soccer, they're like trained and molded and guided, which I think
Yeah.
it's such a thing that was missing in my career. I really wish I had that wrestling mom, that
Well,
wrestling dad.
on that subject, Jen, I've got a question. What do you feel is missing from today's wrestling?
More women in power, more women in. I feel there's not a lot of veterans on the circuit. They usually they'll bring a lot of new girls, which is great. But I've always felt that when you're on TV, you should be. They always say like, "Oh, she has so much potential." Yes, but how about she's ready? So
Mm-hmm.
I think there's not enough of like there's a lot of new girls with a lot of potential who are going to be great and they're going to learn, but they don't have that other person who can help them.
Now we're almost out of time. Okay, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, yeah,
Well,
current day. Yeah, because you wrestled Nyla Rose as well, right?
yeah, I did wrestle her once, and I'd like to wrestle her like again. And like I said, like I would really, really love to wrestle Sumi Sakai. I think we
Yeah.
could make a lot of money. And I don't know if other people said heard what I was saying, but I would really like to wrestle people like that I feel are hungry and want more, like Abaddon and Camille. Like I see them improving every match and putting a lot of time in their characters or gear or training or stuff. So I really love to wrestle people like that who are hungry and they want to succeed, and hopefully I
Yeah.
could help them elevate themselves too at the same time as I learn with them.
You also wrestled Amel, right?
Mel, yes, I did at WXW.
Yeah, she recently got signed by
Mm-hmm.
NXT UK, so
UK, yeah,
we're really proud of her for that.
that's cool.
Uh, Another person with a lot of who's young and has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
So I just love the fact that there are so many new female athletes coming up and now getting getting chances that before they would have never gotten. So that's why you should definitely get like one more shot at the big time. I think before
All
you
I
go
need
out.
is one shot. All I need one shot. I'm like so ready, and like I know I'm gonna go out there and kill it. And there's a lot of people I could have great matches with, and I just need that one person who's gonna say like, hey,
Yeah,
it's the time.
yeah, absolutely. Oh, somebody asked, do you want to wrestle Tamina Snuka?
Tamina, unfortunately, with her being in WWE, I don't think it would be possible.
No, she's been there for a long time, by the way.
Yeah, well, good for her.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
LuFisto, say hi to me. I love you.
Hi.
Okay, he or she is your biggest fan I can see. So,
Thank you.
do you have anything going on like short term that you can look forward to, or is there no light at the end of the tunnel for you right
Well, right now, unless I sign a contract, there's no light when it comes to wrestling. The good thing
now?
I'm working on right now is my book, my autobiography.
Really?
Yeah, we are. I was approached by ECW Press to write my story, which is one of the biggest Canadian publisher, and we're working on that with. I'm working on it with Greg Oliver, who's known a lot in the publishing industry. He wrote a lot of wrestling books and even like other kinds of books and stuff. And so right now we're compiling stories and talking on the phone and getting stuff ready to release a book hopefully by beginning of 2022.
Awesome, awesome. You also got an endorsement from Mick Foley. How did that go down?
That's great. That's after the CZW stuff. Like he was very supportive. He's always been such a great supporter for women wrestlers. And I mean, if you hate Mick Foley, you're wrong. Like, and he
Yeah, he seems
explained
like
to
the
me,
best, right?
and he sent me like a nice letter, like such a nice guy. And he, I don't know if I can show it to you. I don't know if you would see it, but on my wall there, he signed
Yeah,
his Wanted Dead T-shirt, and he sent it to me. And
awesome.
yeah, and now it's on my wall. And Yeah, I have McFoley with me all the time.
That's great, but that's great, right? That's great. And again, those are the things that you deserve because you've been wrestling so long, and you just paved the path for so many women. And you know you should get your just dues. Um, we're almost out of time. Is there anything left you want to plug for us?
Well, you can check out my website, LuFisto.com. I have this very cool shirt that I have made for shows that are not happening, but it's available on the website. I have like a sale online too right now. All my pictures are 2 for 1.
Yeah,
So that's a cool thing. I have like
cool.
34 pictures, and I have gear for sale because I'm poor because of COVID. So join me on my Patreon for like free matches and all that stuff. And yeah, just go on LuFisto.com. All the links are there of all my social media. It's the best way to reach me.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for being here. One last question: how's your cat doing with the eyes?
Great. Oh, she's great. No,
Yeah.
yes, she's loving, and she's yeah,
Ah.
she went through the surgery. It was a little rough, with the eye drops and stuff, but she was so good at taking her medication. She's a real little trooper and a tough cookie, just like me.
Ah. Okay, give her a couple of kisses from me. Thank you very much for being on. You're always a great guest.
Thank
And,
you.
well, I hope things will turn around with the COVID situation very soon.
I hope so too. Stay safe, everyone.
Okay, thanks, Jen. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you all.